I'm Warren Wilson, and I'm an inventor. And I did, well, actually, Perrin made this little introductory video that I would like to share with you because he did such a phenomenally good job of it. I'll just bring it on. Can everyone hear that? Is the volume okay?
No volume.
Oh, hang on. All right. Is there a how can I bring the volume on?
Maybe when you share the item, you just need to click where it says like share the computer sound.
Oh, okay, cool.
You may need to reshare the screen.
You have to go back out of share screen to get to it,
yeah.
Warren.
Okay, share screen. And where is the share the video?
So when you hit the first share screen,
sorry, yes.
I see it. Sorry.
I've got it.
Hi, Warren, by the way.
Hello, how you going? How you going, Julie?
Doing
okay,
good.
let's go again. Let's go again.
Hey kids, the fun never stops when you play with Better Blocks. Why? Because they move. Watch how they bend, shape, and curve to create hours of fun for everyone. Hey kids, watch this. New Better Blocks glow in the dark to give your fun times an exciting spark. Better Blocks bend, shape, curve, and glow in new cool colors that really show.
Call now for your set of glow-in-the-dark Better Blocks, a $20 value for only $14.95.
The original Better Blocks snapped together so well that they could be a little tricky to pull apart, like any good toy block. We've now developed the world's only easy release system for toy building blocks.
Now Better Blocks is back and even better. Now you can build motorized models that bash, smash, and crash. You can have a bashing, crashing, smashing good time over and over again.
Well, that was it. That was my little intro to inventing. And as you can see, I'm a toy inventor, and I love, to be honest, it's not so much inventing that I really love. It's the ability or the opportunity to work with kids, because kids are just unbelievably creative. And what I found with kids is that, and we're all born, everyone was a kid once, right? We're all born creative, we're all curious, but somehow that seems to get taught out of us. As we get older, schools teach it out of us and life becomes a bit more serious. And for me, it's about including kids in and letting them still remember how creative and talented they are, and also certainly to bring in our skills. So that's kind of my mission, as you saw with the cardboard models, and that's one of the ways that I bring the creativity into the kids world. And one of the common questions that I'm asked is like, if you're a child, where do you start? Like if you want to invent something, where do you start? And it's a really interesting question. It kind of perplexed me for a lot of years. And one of the places where I started, or always actually start, is to do something I love, because inventing is often a challenging thing. And that was Apple, the young girl who was on before me. She was truly inspiring, right? She's a classic example of a kid inventor, because what she did is, like, she obviously loves, she wants to contribute to the world, do something good for the thing, for the people who are not quite as fortunate as people like me. And then she comes up with these really simple but profound, life-changing ideas for others, and then she does something about it. And she does something about it in a simple way with the tools and the resource she has. And that to me is a child inventor summed up. It doesn't get better than that. And that's why I try and foster in kids is that they have great ideas. Start with something that you love, and then do something with the resources you got. Because you don't need great tech companies at times and big engineering companies and all that to back you to get stuff off the ground. Kids can do it, and that's one of the reasons I kind of got involved with cardboard models, and that's because kids have cardboard models. Kids have cardboard, they have glue, and they can often stick things together, and that's kind of where I start, and that's where I encourage kids to start. And because inventing's fun, so why not start having inventing? Why not start with something that's fun? And also, like inventing is it can be a bit of a tough gig sometimes. Inventing is always about doing something new. So we're doing something we don't know whether we can do or not. Often unexpected problems come up because that's just the way it is. And if you're having fun and you enjoy doing it, you tend to go through those problems and you'll find a solution and you'll keep going. Whereas if you're not having fun and it's not something that you love doing, often the problems get, no, it's a bit hard, and you kind of give up. And I always say with my better blocks, I didn't think it was a great idea. I thought it was a pretty good idea. And I say to people, like, I'm not, I'm just a guy. I'm just an average guy. I'm not that, I'm not that smart. I'm no rocket scientist. But I was successful where a lot of people were not successful simply because I just kept on going. I was persistent. I just believed in my product and I just kept on going. And, if there was a problem, I'd be scratching my head and thinking, yeah, this is a bit hard, and it might take me a month or 2 months to solve the problem, but I kept on going. And the beauty of it is that persistence is no special skill. Everyone's got persistence. Like if you choose to be persistent and keep on going, well, you're persistent. And anyone can do that. It doesn't matter whether you're a kid or whether you're an adult or whatever, anyone can do that. So that was one of my keys to inventing. And a couple of other, yes, actually, here's one of my favorite questions that kids ask me. I've got a few written down here. It's like, are inventors sometimes a little crazy? Well, I have to admit, yes, we are sometimes a little crazy. And it can be crazy in a good way, because inventors, we're always doing something new, always doing something new, something different. So, and people are going to say, Warren, that's a bit of, are you sure you're not just a little bit crazy this time? And I'll go, well, maybe I am, but let's go down the road and find out, and see where we go. And so long as no harm's being done to anyone, I think a little bit of craziness in the world, a little bit of fun, it kind of adds to the fun and it adds to the unknown, because you never quite, with a little bit of craziness, you never quite know where you're going to go, and life's an adventure. And I've just noticed that my good friend Perrin has come into the call, and I'd like to say good day. How you going, Perrin? We played your video, mate, and I absolutely loved it as the introduction. Did a far better introduction than I could possibly do. And what I'd like to do, Perrin, is I know you had a few questions that you're going to ask me with it regarding the Inventors segment. Would you like to ask some, or should I just keep on? Adding my comments?
Yeah. So what have you answered? I just want to know, what have you shared with our audience so far?
I shared about where do you start? And that was, I love invent. Start with something that you love, and that was it. And also I got on to something that I noticed brought a smile to a few people's faces, was, are inventors crazy? Of which I had to admit, yes, we are just a little crazy at times. And I thought, what are the things that would kids like to know? Because I got my questions here that I think kids like to know.
Yeah. So, did you know all of your? Specifically, how did you solve the problems that you faced in inventing?
Actually, that's a very good question. A very good question, because inventing is all about solving problems. Like you're always doing something new that you don't know. And how I solve problems is two things that I do. One thing is that I like to take time out for me, like to do a bit of meditation, a bit of visualization, because it's kind of, it gives my spirit a chance to talk instead of all the babble that goes in my mind. And that's where sometimes my unexpected answers come from. And solving problems for me was all about speaking to other people, because some of my best ideas were not mine. Like I'd speak to other people and say, Warren, why don't you do this? And I'll give an example of Better Blocks. Better Blocks, we had 84 different types of blocks. The first 5 were my ideas, but the really cool ideas weren't mine. Like the glow in the dark blocks weren't mine. Kids loved them. But they were the David Williams who manufactured the blocks, they were his ideas. You know, David would ring me up and say, Warren, we got this really cool plastic that glows in the dark. Why don't you make your blocks out of that? So we did. So I find that the answers to the problems are not trying to solve it myself, but I try and do. It's about speaking to other people, because other people have different perspectives, and everyone's brilliant. They just need an opportunity to shine. And if you ask them questions, well, they have that opportunity to shine. You know, they may come up with answers. They may be a little bit crazy like me, who knows? But it kind of gets you thinking. So actually, thanks, Perrin. That was a great question, a very important question.
Yeah, I really like that. You know, we're all in this together.
Yeah. Actually, absolutely. And inventing is a team game. It's like Better Blocks was successful not because I was that clever. You know, I had the idea. Better Blocks was successful because I had a really, really good team of just wonderful people around me who were far cleverer at marketing and things that I couldn't do. And it was really, inventing is really a team game, absolutely. And it's like anything, you know. It's like the, gift is a team game without people like you, Colleen, and you, Arturo, and you, Julie, and Jake, who's not here. Like these things don't happen. So it's a team game, you know.
So let me just ask you one more question. What do you think would be one virtue, just in one word? Do you think I know there's so many different aspects to inventing, but I want you, maybe you could try, if you're to describe inventing, like the thing that's required for inventing in one word. Like, for example, for soccer, you're going to need the drive to practice or something like that. The drive.
Wow.
So can you like maybe describe in one word one thing you need to invent?
This is why I wanted you in, Parent. I've never ever been asked that question. And it kind of, you said the question and I was going, wow. And here it is, it's caring. Because I invent stuff and the programs I do because I care about kids. And that's the whole driving force to why I invent stuff. And I'd like to share you a little story about Better Blocks. Is that Better Blocks was pretty successful, and we sold 6 billion blocks, and like in a business sense, it was pretty successful. But that wasn't the highlight of Better Blocks for me. It was okay. The highlight of Better Blocks for me was that when Kelvin Claney, my partner in Better Blocks, was the person who he was the one who sold them, right? And Kelvin used to run this like an event in Florida every year where we'd invite parents and kids, to make models and bring their Better Blocks models in, and we would judge them, and you'd have the best model for this and the best model for that, right? And a dad came up to Kelvin, and he really thanked Kelvin for bringing out Better Blocks. And Kelvin could tell it was just a little bit more than a normal thank you, right? Kelvin said, that was a pretty, there's more to this story. What is it? And this dad said, it was the first time in 4 years that I'd sat down and played with my son. And he sat down and played with his son for half a day, right? And it was because of Better Blocks. That, when Kelvin, I wasn't fortunate enough to be there at the time, when Kelvin told me that story, all the 3 years of heartache and the worrying about going broke, all the rest of it, right, was insignificant. It was all worth it. And it's because I, you know, I made a difference to someone's life. And I never set out to do that. But it really highlighted for me, it's about the successful inventors are successful because they care. They care enough to do what they need to do and get the job done. So thank you for that question, Perrin. Wow, it was kind of cool. Thank you. So do you have any
a
other
question,
questions?
Warren.
Oh, yes.
What, okay, yeah, it's Colleen.
Yep.
What problem were you trying to solve?
Well,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. The personal problem I was trying to solve was the invention I had before Better Blocks was a financial disaster, right? I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest. And when I got in the game, I realized I had no idea. And I was $100,000 in debt. So the personal motivation was to get out of debt, right? The other motivation was some friends of mine who are in Germany said to me, Warren, we would love a product to compete with Lego, because at the moment no one could compete with Lego. And I didn't think anything at the time of it. I thought, oh yeah, you know. But I remember about 3 months later, I was back in my hometown Adelaide and I was driving my car. And all of a sudden I thought, why not build a building block that moves? Then we could get around all Lego's, all their legal problems, and that we could get into the marketplace. So it was really, I needed something to get out of debt. And then, you know, I like the challenge. And when my friend said to me, you know, why don't you invent something to compete with Lego? Like, I didn't say, oh, I'm going to do that. I just kind of mentally filed it away. And then, oh, why not build a building block that moves? And that was the easy part. That was when the whole adventure started, from that idea. So thanks, Colleen. Thank you. Great question.
Yeah, thanks for the answer too.
Cool. Churro, you look like you're in thought there. Do you have any questions? Are you pondering anything?
Oh, I have bunches. I mean, actually, when Perrin asked like that question of that particular trait that an inventor should have, I immediately remember like a phrase you said like a minute before about persistence, and also to my experience, I think that's something that is really important, is the capacity to be able to fail, you know, failure and trying back, and you called it persistence. So in this journey, I don't know if you could share your experience about like in the process, that persistence that you said, like how many tries, how many failures, how many iterations have you gone through?
Actually, thank you, Churro, because that's failures is part of it. Like I'm an inventor, so inherently about 95% of the things I do don't work. And it's interesting. I did a workshop many years ago, and I used to look at them as failures. But Blair Singer said, what it is you try stuff and it either works or it doesn't work. And when I look at it like that, it means, well, I'm not a failure. I just tried something that doesn't work. And like you said, honestly, 95% of the things I do don't work. And with Better Blocks, like I can't remember. There were so many things that didn't work. I can't remember. But the first thing that I needed to do was to perfect the clipping system. I didn't know how to clip the blocks, and I should have had some blocks here to show you, right? But I didn't know how to. I always forget that. I should have. Like I had to clip the blocks together, and they still had to clip together and move. And I didn't know how to do that. So I tried different systems and that. And in the end, it was like a press stud on a pair of jeans was the clipping system. But then I had to get the fit right. So I probably made about 30 or 40 different versions of the clipping system before I got one that I was happy with. And then even to make the blocks, like what I did is I made a simple mold and a simple machine to make the blocks. And I wanted to make it took me about a minute per block to make. And every second one was like a reject. Right? So I had to make about 10,000 blocks to get 5,000 blocks. And then you work it out at a minute a block. Like there was a lot of minutes and a lot of days, a lot of weeks I spent just molding blocks. And then I had to find, then I didn't know how to market them or sell them or make them. So I had to find people who could do that. And I've spent a couple of years doing that. So I had a lot of people said, no, it's not for us. We're not interested. So I had to find another door to knock on, another person to ring up. And I just kept on going. And it's interesting about, here's how I found success works. Success always, to me, comes out of left field, like it's something I couldn't plan, right? And I spent about 3 years, when I had the idea to when I got it into the marketplace, it was about 3 years. I spent a lot of time traveling around in Australia, asking people to be involved if they wanted to be involved. And, I got a lot of no's. And I was talking to my sister's boyfriend, who was a cabinet maker, right? He's a carpenter. Knew nothing about toys, nothing about marketing, nothing about manufacturing, nothing about selling. Well, a little bit about selling because he ran his own business, right? And John Wilkie was his name. And John said to me, why don't you ring up my mate, Kelvin Claney in America? He may just be interested, right? He's doing pretty well and he may be interested. So I rang up Kelvin, and the end result of that offhand comment by a cabinet maker, right, a carpenter, right, who knew nothing about toys, was a business that had $45 million in sales, and we sold 6 billion blocks. That's what I mean about serendipity. Like, you just need to ask people and then keep on asking people. And like you can't write things like that in a business plan. You can't plan that a carpenter's going to tell me the person that I need to know. You can't plan it. And yet that's kind of what that's what it takes, these faith. And I had a lot of faith and a lot of belief. All I knew was that I wanted to sell better blocks all around the world. And I had that vision, I had that belief. And I used to visualize 20 minutes a day for a year. Out of a year, I maybe missed 1 or 2 days, right? And that was a focus I had. How that was going to happen? No idea, right? But I just had that belief. And then that was kind of how, that was how it pans out. And kids have that belief, they're great dreamers. They have these wonderful dreams, and sometimes they can make them work, and sometimes they don't quite work out as planned. So thanks, Achiro. Great. Thank you.
Now, when you show the videos, I can see that several versions have evolved, like the glow in the dark and then the motorized ones. Yep. How long did it took, like, from one, delivery, like, to the other? And what's next? It would be awesome to see, like, modules that, like, internet-enabled blocks and access. I can dream. I actually just want to search for my own kits and my own sets to be delivered.
What's next? Well, see, Better Blocks, we released them in the 90s. We sold the last Better Blocks kit in about 2000, right? And we're in the process now of relaunching them. So the motorized kits is a system that'll come out, and they'll gradually evolve. Here's what I've found is that we evolve different. It depended on the marketing and the sales. Like, if the more marketing and selling we had, the more money we generated, the faster we could bring out kits. That was the way we did it. And also with the glow in the dark kits, and we had magic color change kits that you dip in warm water, we didn't need to build any new tools for them. So we could effectively introduce a new product that we just put new plastic in the mold. So it was a fairly simple way to do it. So that from a product point of view, yes, we are going to re-release them hopefully by the end of the year. And we'll bring out the existing products and particularly new STEM products. But to be honest, what I'm really involved in these days is education programs that foster kids' creativity and bring out their creativity and help them bring it into the world. People like Apple. How can we help Apple bring her brilliant idea into the world? And that's really what I'm doing. And I don't, to be honest, I don't think the current education system really fosters that as well as it could. and me and some other people, and you know, we just want to do something about it, you know, to give kids a better shot at making their dreams come true.
Yeah.
So my focus is, I don't know if I really answered your questions. So my focus is not so much on products, it's about how can I bring out education systems to help kids, and the products will be part of that.
Well, I mean, they're beautiful, rapid prototyping materials. So
Yes.
I really look forward, like, the relaunching and to have like other kind of blocks that not even motorized, but sensors, you know, sliding things and all of these things that would definitely inspire and drive invention, not only from kids, but I think that also for older kids like myself.
Big
Warren,
kids
I
like
was going to
us.
comment. Go ahead. I was going to comment. You should write a book.
Well, actually, thank you. Actually, I did write a book on. I wrote a book many years ago on my Better Block experiences. I wrote it because it was actually, I wrote 3 books. I wrote one on how to think like an inventor, because I just wanted to share how inventors think, and you know, how we're not actually really as crazy as we look. And then what I also found about there was common problems that inventors come across, and I wrote a book about that and the solutions I found. And there was a certain plan that I found that worked, and I kind of wrote a short book about that. So yeah, I have written some books on it. But I thank you for reminding me. I forget about some of the stuff I've done, because for me the excitement is about doing the stuff. So thank you for that. And I see Jake's just joined us as well, which is excellent. And so, Perrin, do you have any other questions that I've missed, or any other?
Yeah. Let me see. So there's a to all audiences. What do you say can be their first step to all audience, any age? Like,
Wow.
Maybe it could be getting off the chair or getting off the couch and already starting to think. Maybe it could be that. That one step.
I think the first step is like I've said before, having the idea to me is the easy part. Like I've never met anyone who's never had a great idea, and most people have had like hundreds of great ideas. The challenge is that they never get beyond an idea. And I think, and again, I come back to Apple. She was a phenomenal example of this. She like have an idea and then work out what you can do. Like, what can I do today to make that idea happen? Or what can I do this week to make that idea happen? And depending what the idea is, sometimes it may just be talking to some friends, see what they think, see how they can help you out. It may be you may be able to make something like Apple did, like she just took common elements and made what she wanted to make. So it's really about working out what you can do. And there's some, and it does, if it involves making things, it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, can I make it? Because if you don't have the ability, see, I didn't always have the ability to make some of my programs and products that I wanted to. So what I did was I got the concept of it. I got what the concept of what I was trying to do across. Like for me, it was about, say with kids entrepreneurial programs. I wanted to develop a kids entrepreneurial program. I didn't know how to do it. So what I did is I sold the idea. I found people who wanted to help me develop a kids entrepreneurial program, and they came in and helped me develop it. So if you can't make the product yourself, write down what it is you're trying to do, and then ask people, ask other kids, ask adults. Say, can you help us out? Can you come on board?
Excellent advice, Warren. And we have another presenter on deck. So we're going to have to stop here, but thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Colin. Thank you, Ashiro. It's a great privilege to be able to thank you.
No, thank you. It's been great, like listening to your ideas. And thank you, Perrin, for joining in with Warren. Yep. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it was just really fun, talking about this. This is actually not the first time me and Warren have met. We initially met in workshops per piece, and like this whole thing started when I mentioned, what if we had a block that was 3D or something like that, and then one thing led to another, and yeah, I'm just also really excited for these better blocks as well, and I'm happy to be helping him out because I want to be I want to be part of that revolution to make blocks more fun, more safe also because they're made of when you like step on them, they're not gonna hurt unlike normal Legos.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I hope that we can have you guys back on the gift sharing, and hopefully looking forward that relaunch.
We'd love to be back, and Arturo, I'll keep you in the loop with the better blocks because I can see you're interested in them. And look, I'd love to actually speak to you at another time, and just to see if we can, if you wanted to be involved, if there's some way for you to be involved with better blocks.
Definitely do, and I will get your contact there. Definitely. I mean, you'll hear from me.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
No worries. Thank you.